Hello friends, today is Sunday, June 26th. In today's video, I'd like to talk about the economic war between EU and USA on one side and Russia on the other, and to present to you my crazy theory about who may be winning it at this moment. Before I go on, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Doing so will help it grow and help amplify my voice in a debate about the future of the human race. Thanks. As you know, on February 24th, President of the Russian Federation gave an order to begin a special military operation in Donbass, a region in what used to be the Ukraine, containing two quasi-states, DPR and LPR. Russian troops poured over the Ukrainian border. Cruise missiles hit strategic centers across the country, and the collective West, that is, the European Union and the US, together with its allies around the globe, immediately condemned Russian aggression and put forward an unprecedented number of sanctions in hopes of crippling the economy, to hamper its military effort, and to put pressure on the Russian people in vague hopes of achieving a regime change in Kremlin. Yet 4 months into the conflict, Russian military grinds on in Ukraine, making slow and deliberate gains, while Russian economy is chugging along, despite the sanctions, the number of which has only grown. In fact, every facet, every moving element of the Russian economy was a target for the sanctions. So much so that at the recent G7 meeting, the leaders of our free world have practically nothing left to sanction. And so they announced that the European Union and America will stop buying Russian gold. This is, without a doubt, an economic war. And I think that at this point of time, it's Russia who is winning it. Now, does this sound surprising to you? It should be. Practically every Western analyst, and some Russian ones, expected the economy to sink faster than an inflatable raft filled with hedgehogs. But Kremlin must have anticipated this action, because it took a number of measures to stabilize the economy and fix the inflation. And 4 months into it, it looks like their measures have succeeded. Russian ruble is at its best level compared to dollar in 8 years. The Central Bank of Russia dropped its key rate to 8%. Russian businesses are adapting to work with suppliers. In a domestic market, Russia is selling its energy at record prices and record quantities, making great profits, and is deepening its economic ties to the economic powerhouse, which is China. The same cannot be said for the West. The sanctions designed to cripple Russia had an unintended effect of worsening the already rising inflation, an inflation caused by indiscriminate printing of money or quantitative easing. Look it up. In 2 years, America made trillions of dollars appear out of thin air in order to finance the economy struggling with a countrywide shutdown. Europe did the same, with a lesser aplomb, typical of the Europeans, but with similarly negative consequences. As the direct result of sanctions and political posturing by countries such as Poland, Germany and France, Lithuania, among many, natural gas prices went to record highs, as well as prices for oil products, such as gasoline and diesel. Diesel is especially important. For example, in America, trucking is how goods get delivered from ports to stores. And higher diesel prices don't just mean higher prices for goods, although this is a factor in the inflation that we're seeing. No, higher diesel prices will push many truck drivers out of business altogether. Some analysts expect as many as 30% reduction in the fleet. This will create shortfalls of supply, pushing prices even higher. Moreover, the regime change might be coming to the US. The Biden administration is at historic lows of approval rating, and the midterm elections are likely to see more Republicans come into the Senate and the House, resulting in a dead duck situation where the president is overseeing hostile legislators in both chambers. Some Democrats are hoping to ride the wave of women's rights to success in November, seeing how the Supreme Court just outraged tens of millions of voters by discharging its duty and overturning Roe v. Wade. But November is a long time away, and the economic woes will probably take priority over social justice, being located closer to the foundation of the needs pyramid and affecting all voters, not just the ones who are outraged by the Supreme Court's ruling. There are also persisting questions as to Biden's capacity to remain in the White House until the end of his current term. Folks, the guy's deteriorated pretty fast since he took office. It's only been, 16 months? If his condition continues to decline at the same rate, he'll be giving White House briefings in his pajamas. I'm sure his approval rating won't dip much lower than it is today, however. In a week or two, we'll find out if what most of us are already expecting to be true, that the inflation, which is at least double of the official number of 8.6%, leads to a second quarter of negative growth. Already, government-employed economists are preparing the public for some bad news. Europe, although much less of a concern to me because, well, I don't live there, is doing even worse. This is because sanctioning Russian energy turned out to hurt their own economies to a much higher degree. Who would have thought? Inflation across the countries is well into double digits, and people there will be facing food shortages, energy rationing, already happening in Germany, for instance, and a host of other problems by the end of the year. Already protests have erupted in several EU countries which are tied to energy prices and sanctions. And from what I've learned of history, regime changes are most often driven by hungry, angry masses. So to wrap things up, I think it's safe to say that the economic war isn't going in the collective West's favor, while Russia is chugging along on a path to complete recovery. Of course, it's too early to claim a victory, and the road ahead is long and fraught with danger for all participants of this senseless debacle. However, Russia seems to be winning the opening rounds. But I'm not gloating. I live in America where the shit is already hitting the proverbial fan. But keep it in perspective. It isn't us, the Americans, or the Europeans, who are fighting the people of Russia. It's our elites fighting their elites. We just pay the ultimate price. That's all I have for today. I'll see you in the next one.